Today, we are diving into the heart of Shimokitazawa, one of Tokyo's absolute coolest neighborhoods. There's a pretty unique challenge going on there that threatens its super welcoming vibe. It's a story about a community hub, run, get this, entirely by volunteers. And they're facing a really critical problem, and they're asking for our help. So let's get right into it. Okay, just imagine this for a second. You step out of a packed train station into a new part of town. You pull out your phone to get your bearings, but the map is like 5 years old. The building you're literally standing in doesn't even exist on the screen. The path right in front of you? Nope, not there. You are completely lost before you've even taken a single step. And this isn't some crazy hypothetical. It's the daily reality for anyone visiting Shimokitazawa.
So this confusing, kind of bizarre reality is the first piece of our story. A puzzle that kicks off the very moment you step out of the train at Shimokitazawa Station.
The problem itself is just so strange. For some reason, we don't really know why, the major digital map services, they all show an outdated version of the station. We're talking brand new facilities, entire buildings, and these really crucial walkways, they're just gone. Locals will try to submit corrections, and maybe they'll pop up for a day, but then poof, the map mysteriously reverts back to the old, totally wrong version. As you can guess, this leaves visitors completely and utterly lost.
And this is the question that volunteers hear all day, every day. People walk up, phone in hand, pointing to that little blue dot surrounded by a map that just doesn't match what they're seeing, and they just ask, "Where am I?" It's that moment of pure confusion where technology has completely failed. And you know what? A real human connection is the only thing that can actually help.
So who provides that human connection? Well, that would be the heroes at the heart of this story, the all-volunteer hub.
This is the Shimokitazawa Concierge Association. Since 2018, they've been running an information booth to solve this exact problem. And here's the crucial thing. It is run entirely by volunteers. There's no official city funding, no corporate sponsorship, nothing. In a country like Japan, where these kinds of things are usually pretty formally organized, this kind of pure community-driven effort is incredibly rare. So the team is this fantastic mix of local residents, but a huge number of them are actually high school students. For a lot of them, it's a way to get involved in their community, especially if their schools don't allow part-time jobs. The association uses this really flexible sign-up system, not some fixed schedule, which makes it super easy for students to balance their studies and still chip in. Their big goal? To get enough volunteers so they can open the booth every single day of the week.
And their resourcefulness is just brilliant. I mean, they operate outdoors, so they have to adapt. In the summer, they use a mobile wagon under a tent, which is perfect for catching that nice breeze in the station plaza. But winter's brutal. The real enemy is that biting wind and the cold that just seeps up from the ground. So they hand-built this yatai. It's like a traditional stall with a proper floor and tarps just to keep the volunteers from freezing.
But what they do goes way beyond just giving directions. They've also become a cultural cornerstone for the neighborhood, which brings us to the story of Shimokita's legal street music.
Now, this is a really key point you got to understand about Tokyo. Unlicensed street performing, it's called Rojo Live, is basically illegal. But the concierge booth isn't on a public road. No, it's on approved land that was set aside for station construction, so they have official permission, and they stick to really strict rules about noise levels and performance times. What this does is create one of the very few places in the whole city where musicians can perform for the public legally and safely. It's a huge deal.
And it's really become more than just a performance space. For the past 7 years, these live shows, all put on by talented volunteer artists, have become this cherished part of the neighborhood's identity. You'll often see families, little kids, just sitting on the ground, totally captivated by the music. It's a scene that just is the spirit of Shimokitazawa. But there's a major threat looming over both the information service and the music. It's the main villain of this story, the rainout problem. So here is the super frustrating paradox. On rainy days, when people are desperate to get out of the weather and find where they're going fast, demand for the information booth just skyrockets. But those are the very days they are most often forced to shut down. It's just maddening.
So why? What's the deal? Well, it's a total logistical nightmare. The wagon they use has to be moved into position to set up and then moved back to tear down. If it's raining during either of those times, the whole day is a no-go. This means even a forecast of a little drizzle hours later can force them to cancel the entire day. This is not only a huge pain for visitors, but it's really demoralizing for the volunteers. Some of the most dedicated members have actually left because it's just too unreliable.
This problem really threatens their very existence, but the community has a plan. So let's look at Section 5, a crowdfunding solution. The Shimokitazawa Concierge Association has launched a crowdfunding campaign to tackle these challenges head-on. And they've been incredibly transparent about where the funds will go. First and foremost, rain protection gear, so they can finally operate on those drizzly days. Funds will also go to repair their winter stall, help subsidize transportation for the volunteers, cover data fees for their map tools, and restart their really popular walking tours.
The campaign is being run through this unique Japanese system called Furasatsu Noze, which translates to hometown tax. Basically, it's a government program that helps towns and cities raise funds. It lets people donate to a specific project they want to support, and in return, they can get a deduction on their own income and residence taxes. Pretty cool, right?
And here's the kicker. There is a crucial deadline. The entire campaign ends on November 30th, which gives everyone a pretty limited time to help save this absolutely vital community service.
So if this whole story has inspired you, here's how you can actually get involved. This is our final section, how to help Shimokita.
The whole process is actually really straightforward. You can contribute by just visiting the special campaign page on Sedagai Award's official Furasatsu Noze website. From there, you just need to choose how you'd like to give and finish the process. Simple as that.
And there are two main ways you can do it. If you live outside of Tokyo's Sedagai Award, you can donate and then choose to receive a return gift as a little thank you. But for anyone who just wants to support this incredible volunteer effort, and this includes people who live right there in Setagaya, you can just choose the donation-only option.
And here's a really wonderful personal touch. During the checkout process, there's actually an option to write a message of support and send it directly to one of the volunteer musicians you might have seen or heard about. It's just a great way to connect directly with the people who are at the very heart of this project.
So, as we wrap this up, it really leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? What is it that really gives a neighborhood its heart? Is it the cool shops and the trendy buildings? Or is it the people who show up day after day, rain or shine, when they can, just to help a lost stranger, to share their music, and to build a real community right from the ground up? Because that's what's truly at stake in Shimokitazawa.